Hello, everybody. I'm giving YouTube time to catch up with me. Let's grab some paper colors. We want one of these. We want that. We want that. And we'll grab a piece of white. I already got one hanging over here. Just collecting because we know that I sometimes run a little behind. So I'm giving people time to say, wow, Brenda is early tonight. So let me grab some more paper colors. Crystal Cabana. I think we've already got a card base in there. We do. We'll go with this color. I think it will be. Got white over there. Oh, this might be in one of my buckets. Looking for a set of dies. Hang on one moment. All right, we're just gonna play with what we got, I believe. Grab one more spot, and if not, we'll give up. Oh, that's not them. I have several unfinished projects, so kind of digging in those bins. You can use that one. We'll just borrow from it. All right. Good evening, everybody. We're going to start with the projects we've got right here, and we will get crack-a-lacking. Good evening. I am Brenda Sellers, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the great state of Tennessee. I am in Knoxville. Hi, Terry, Becky, and Jeannie. Woohoo! Check your all's email. I know that I got an email today saying that there is free shipping for 3 days. Let me see exactly when it starts again. So we know July 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So I hope that helps some of you. If you've been holding on to an order, then you got some good stuff coming. You can free shipping those 3 days. And then if you live in the state of Tennessee, I know that, see what it's called. Back to school tax holiday is on July 26, 27, and 28. That includes things like your Stampin' Seal, your refill, your Seal Plus, your refill for that, dimensionals, mini dimensionals, black Stampin' Dimensionals combo pack, your foam adhesive strips. If you guys haven't used these foam adhesive strips before, let me just pull this used pack out of here so you can see them a little easier. Those little guys are thicker than a regular dimensional, but they work great to hold up a larger item. What else? Anything adhesive. So your glue dots, your liquid glue, your grid paper, if you need a stack of grid paper, your tear and tape, adhesive, fine tip glue pen, markers, watercolor pencils, Stampin' Up combo, Stampin' Blends combo packs. Those are also included in the tax-free holiday weekend and your Stampin' Right marker collection. Yes, all of that. So if I will post that, a copy of that spreadsheet on our list. It also, there's like 13 states and Puerto Rico. So if you're watching me from a state that's not Tennessee, Alabama's passed. Today's the last day for Alabama. I'll get that posted tonight. And then I think, oh, Puerto Rico's passed. But the rest of them look like they're coming up. So I will share that post this evening so that you know. All right, and another fun thing I did this weekend. Let me share my screen and just show you. I've seen other demonstrators talk about it, but I had never done it before until this weekend when I needed the weekend. It was during the virtual retreat, and I just decided to go for it because I needed to be able to see, and my eyes are old, and it helped so much. And let me just show you what helped me so much. All right. Yes, we're looking at my screen. All right, our regular paper trimmer it's pretty great. I'll just say it is pretty great. You've, of course, got your measurements across the top. You've got this arm that extends. Did you know that there are measurements down the side of our cutting arm? Did you know how hard those are to see unless you put a piece of tear and tape behind that? So what I did is I just held it up like that. So it was held in place, like that's down. Just rock it up, grab your roll of tear and tape, and stretch it out right down the side and pop it on there. Leave the backing on it and give it a good little back rub so that it stays where it needs to be. And then look how easy it is to see those numbers. Come on, focus camera. Focus, focus. But it was so much easier. When she told me I needed to go down a 1 1/4, I could slide that right down that little line right there. Let me get a little closer. Come a little closer. No, I don't sing. So I could put that mark, that's where the cutting blade is, right here in the middle, at a 1 1/4, and then I could go to the top of my page and it cut this perfect slit. So if you haven't done that yet, there's your free tip for tonight. All right, we are going to play with You Are Remarkable. My friend Beverly had this at the farmhouse and was playing with this stamp set. So I'm going to copy one of her designs. Guess what? The paper's over there. It's not one of these three. So just a moment. Let's get a different color and we'll copy similar to one of hers. We can play with one of the colors we got over there. All right. But also, while I'm here, let me grab the plaid. That's not it. That's not it. There we go. And then we need one of these. Start. Just finish grabbing some pieces while I'm here. Yep, that'll work. Big one of those. This. See if you've got a larger sheet. We do. Just lay it on the table. Hold that for me. And there we go. And if we need more pieces, we know where to find them, right? We're going to play with some of this timeless plaid because it just reminds me of my dad. All right. Now I've got lots of pieces and parts laying over here. So if you need some inspiration, you can always go to Pinterest and you can type in whatever stamp set that you're working with and put you are remarkable Stampin' Up, and it will give you a lot of choices. All right, so let me show you Beverly's card. We're not making it, but we're making one very similar to it. How gorgeous Beverly's card is. I just think that flower is so pretty. All right, we're going to set that right there. And we're going to pop this on a block. Your photopolymer, when you pull them off, they kind of stretch. So I just kind of lay them down on my surface and let them relax and get back to the right shape. I need the inside and I need the floral. So you all, are you excited about the weekend with tax-free? No. Yeah, tax-free is this weekend. And then what's the other stuff coming up? Free shipping on, oh, I guess it would be important to know what size your order needs to be for free shipping. Let's see. On qualifying orders of $75 or more. And remember, you get all of the perks. You get all the Stampin' rewards. So, all right. Let's start with, we're going to use Coastal Cabana. A lot of my stuff wound up over there, but I've got extras over here, except I like that bone folder. So there's Coastal Cabana. I'm going to cut this piece of Daffodil Delight to frame that cutout that I borrowed from one of the other kits. So that's at 3 by 4 1/4. So it needs to be 3 1/4. And I've done ready, forgot that. So 4 1/2. Not much got trimmed off the bottom. I'm going to emboss this with the exposed brick embossing folder. You see that line right there? That tells you or shows you how you can keep a straight line on your project. So I'm going to put it right there. Slide, you little friends. And you, my friends. Let's grab the block. We can stand those little friends up. I spent part of the day yesterday cleaning my blocks. I grabbed a lint-free rag and some alcohol and wiped all the blocks down because they needed a good rub. All right, now got room to set the embossing machine. So I've kept that pinched between my fingers. Hinge side goes in first and just run it through. If you can see the table behind me, you can also see that I'm prepping for Christmas in July. I have 4 kits left. out of the ones that I had prepped. So all of them are spoken for except for 4. So if you would like one of those, pop right on over. You can subscribe to my email list. I'll put a link for it in the comments section of this. I'm going to go ahead and put this on our card front. Giving, I heard them called common borders. We're going to stamp on this little guy using our black, which I've made a faux pad. I know, but I feel like it stamps better than the regular ink pad. Let's hope it does. Stamp you right there. My friend would say your name is wonderful 3 times, and then you get a good stamped image. I could have used a little more ink on the bottom of it. That's okay. I'm going to grab Daffodil Delight. It's right here. Fill in our flower leaves. Tap, tap, tap. Don't smash it in there. Just line that up. This is what they would call 2-step stamping. Christmas in July is going to be fun. I showed Nelson some of our projects. That's my husband. And he says, don't hide too much of that paper. Okay, honey, don't tell. It's not retired, but it's one that we have used in the past. I'm going to use Garden Green for our leaves. You all, I did not realize how much I missed having my ink close at hand. When I was in the other room, I could turn around and grab the paper. The ink was right behind me. Oh, that would have been better stamped off, but we're going with it. All right, and now the little flower center part, we are going to use pecan pie, and we are going to stamp off. So that means I'm going to grab a scrap piece. Stamp off, make it a little, that's light enough, I think. I'm leaving it that dark because the foliage is that dark. How about that? That gives it a good little color. That's pecan, whatever you want to call it. So for the Christmas in July, we're making 10 total cards, and they're going to be all different designs. And I can't wait to share those. Isn't that pretty? Yay. All right, let's go ahead and put that down. It's right there in front of my face. And then I'm going to get some embellishments that glue stuck to my finger that I haven't played with before. Oh, I think I cut it a little bit too narrow high, but that's good. That'll work. These are adhesive back dragonflies and birds. We're going to use some dragonflies. Over there. All kinds of different birds. I am trying really hard to not hoard my fun, pretty. Oh, those are very flat. Come on, lift up. Let's have you right there. And you need one more friend. The brushed brass butterflies would look good on here too. But those look good. And you could, where's my stamp set? Wrong one. Do a little banner, or you could grab a different stamp set and put one on there. But you know what? Sometimes we don't need an extra sentiment on there. That way we can grab our card, and send it to whoever we want to send it to. Oh, Becky, I wish you could join us for Christmas in July too. It's not too late. We're going to have some fun ladies here. And if you can't join us in person, you can stamp them all at home. It's going to have a goodie bag. I love the bags that I found. I'll just talk about how pretty those are. That's gorgeous. That's going to go in the mail. All right, let's do another one. We are going to use, not that color, I'm going to put it right there. Okay. Time to slide Clyde out of the way. That's our thick basic white. I got tons of stuff on my dish. Score it at 4 1/4 so that we've got our 2 card bases if we need them, or when we need them, not if, right? And then I'm going to cut it at 5 1/2 on the long side. And again, I always make my cutting go up towards that because that's holding it solid and it doesn't go wonky on me. Yes, wonky is a word, right? And then let's cut some gorgeous grape at 4. This one I know the measurement at. I'll just add my extras over there so that I can quit. And oh, perfect. That'll work. And then this piece is going to be 5. 3 1/4. I'm sorry, 3 3/4. And just 1/4 of an inch down. I love that paper. It's still current, guys. Still current. You could put that on the inside if you wanted to, if it had, I think if those flowers were a little bit more over. And then because I need some more white, let's cut this at it can be, let's do 2 1/4 by 4. And we'll shorten it if we need to. And then to stamp. I'm going to go back with Stampin' with black. So we can get that bottom of the flower a little bit better. Go. Nice. And let's grab a sentiment. I know which one I want. Let's see if it's still got it. These got moved too recently. I forget to look up here. Nope. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Oh. I can't find it. Where did it go? not you. Huh. Not you, but I will. Guys, it ran away on me. Huh. All right, we're gonna use with sympathy because I know who I want to send this card to. Not the design I wanted or had in mind, but it's gonna work. So that looks like it's a different green. Let me see what green it is. I think I know. Let me just stamp it in Pretty Peacock over here and stamp off and see if we like it. Yes. Yes, that's gonna work. So ink it up, tap, 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 stamp off, stamp on. So we get our leaves. And then go back home. We're just great. Where are you? Because that was yellow, it's not going to discolor my ink pad. And I'm going to leave it that dark because I like grape or purple. Purples and teals are my jam. Probably could have been a little bit lighter, but it might lighten up a little bit. We shall see. And then we're going to use the pecan pie for the center. There we go. You guys over here. Let's assemble. That gives this guy time to dry. I've been challenged to send at least 3 cards a week. So it's like, okay, I know who this one needs to go. I've already got its address on the envelope. Let's assemble. This is one of my favorite designer series paper, otherwise known as patterned papers. You noticed I don't have my glass mat on here. It's not got that glare. All right, I'm going to add some of those dimensional strips. Because they're a little faster than all of the adhesive Stampin' Dimensionals. These work great for if you're doing shaker cards. Like, what am I trying to think of? Because you can just build a little box. But like I said earlier, these are not the same height. as the other, like as the Stampin' Dimensionals. So if you use a Stampin' Dimensional, you're probably going to have to stack two side by side to get it to be the same height. All right, back off. I hope that you've had a few minutes to look at my Facebook page, because you can see all of the 12 by 12 layouts that we did this weekend, or Wednesday through Thursday. It wasn't a weekend. It was fun. Was a little challenging at times to keep up, but that was a great retreat. All right, now I want to stamp a sentiment, and I know which one it is. It's from the Unbounded Love, and it's going to be with sympathy, but let me get it punched. And of course that punch is hiding. I think I know where it's at. Right in there. You know what? We have our mini messages already punched out, our die cut. Let's flop those over and see if there's one on there. Nope, those are not the sentiments I want. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not know where my punches are hiding. I have been putting them back. There it is, right in front of my face. Like, where did you go? Where did you go? That's what happens when you clean and rearrange. You can't find things because it was right where it was supposed to be. That's labeled with love. And scrap with sympathy. There it is. Sometimes it's hard to read backwards. Have all my blocks where they need to be. Black ink. Tap, tap, tap. Don't smash it. I'll clean that. And then we'll lay these over here out of the way and put them up in a few minutes. So I can look for them again, right? Okay, dimensionals. I'm going to put it up right there. So I know that I need, let's just grab these. That's faster. Let's put one across the bottom. So it's the same height. Ooh, before we do that, before we stick it down, we're going to do something else fun. I'm going to grab the grape marker and use the brush tip end. And let's give it some color. Laying it down on its side. And you can go as far over as you want. but that'll help separate those two colors. Yep, I kind of gave it a nice little outline. Let's go a little deeper. Gives it the illusion that it's got a layer behind it. There. Same height. Use some more of these little dragonflies. Could have used the doves, but I think dragonflies are just as good. There we go. Next. All right, this one, we're gonna start with Calypso Coral. And we're gonna go with Early Espresso. Like, what is that color, Brenda? What is that color? It is at 5 1/4 already, and we're gonna go with 4. And we're going to emboss it. I won't bring the embossing machine over here. You've got to see how to do that. I will show you, though, again, how I line it up. Now, let's do a little fun thing with that. Did this last Christmas, or yeah, with Christmas cards. My basic white, or not basic white, my Whisper White Craft ink pad. These ink pads come, if you buy the Craft White ink, it comes without ink on it. So you have to put a refill. It comes with its refill. And then just look. That gives it an even more distressed look. And you can go as dark or as light with that as you want to. And I think the white on this Early Espresso just sets it off. You don't have to do all the way in the middle because that's where our design element is going to be. Isn't that cool? And that really helps that embossing folder stand out. And it gets your fingers all geeky. And yes, that's another technical term. I feel like I've got tons of those, right? You need to find your home in the assortment up there. So let's go ahead and put this on our card front. On these with the colored bases, I would put a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic white on the inside. Yes, you could probably write with that, write with a black marker inside there, or a black, really dark black gel pen, and you'd be able to see it, but I have old eyes, And I feel like that if my eyes have trouble seeing it, some of my people that I would send it to might have trouble seeing it. So this was the same height as the other one. It's at 4, and I'm going to do it at, I'm going to do this one a little bit wider so I can put a sentiment beside it. Let's go. Let's see what we need to go. Friends are the flowers in the garden of life. Is that one? Yep. So that is about 1.25 inches. So let's go. If we don't need 3.5, we'll trim it. I'm going to make this be on this side. Stamping with my fake black pad. Sponge daubers work good too. I just had that sponge handy and I knew right where to find it. And those were big sponges that Stampin' Up used to sell, and I cut it into 4ths or 1/8. Let that have time to soak. And now our sentiment that I sillily put back in here. Oh, I want that little bee too. Relax. I usually put all of my sentiments or even regular stamps on my block crooked so that I'm looking through it just to line it up instead of trying to line it up with the edge of the block. I'm going to put that right there. I love how you can line this one up, and then I'll be able to trim more of that off so it's not filling up as much of the. I need to stamp that little bee so I can see him. Cute. Nice. And let's close this so I don't put my hand in it. Dry. Because I knew that was my biggest or widest part. I'm going to bring it right there. And actually it can come a little hair more. There we go. So that wound up being half 7/8. So it's 4 by 7/8. And since we're going on Calypso Coral, we're going to stamp off with this ink pad. Much better. There. And stamp off. Much, much. I like that much better than I did the first one we did. So if you don't want your leaves or your greenery to be too dark, stamp off. Now, Calypso Coral. Instead of cleaning, I did it over there. Let's see how dark that is. I think we're going to stamp off. Love how easy that is to line up. I like that. And our brown center. And this still isn't very dark, so I'm just gonna go full strength with him. Or her. How many of you call your stamps or your things hims or hers? Am I the only one? Because sometimes I feel like that's a little funny. All right. Now, I like that a lot. That bee needs some yellow. He needs some, we're just going to use the marker. Just a tad. That was Daffodil Delight. And we're going to put that on dimensionals, otherwise known as adhesive strips. Got that one right on the edge, didn't I? Right on the edge, living on the edge, aren't I? And then we'll just go across right there. And that'll keep it from sagging. No saggy cards. All right. Trying to remember my to-do list. It's post the tax-free information and also share the link for Christmas in July. There are 4 more spots for that. $45 and you get all the goodies unless you need me to mail it, and then it's a little bit more to cover postage. So I say I lost our little guys. I think I'm only going to put one on here. Actually, not those, because it's got a B. It needs something besides that. Let's grab one of these iridescent foil gems. And it looks like I've only got large ones left on this one. That's okay. Seeing how it's up on dimensionals and Chunky Monkey anyway. Stick one up there. And one here. That helps draw our eye around it. These are still current as well. They're iridescent foil gems. Trying to help you stock your cart. I love this this stamp set. All right, one more and then we'll be done. All right, because I feel like I need to use plaid. Let's use some plaid. Score this at 4 1/4. And I know that I haven't said it yet, but I will say it now. If you place an order between now and Monday, I will send you the material, the cardstock, cut and prepped for you to stamp whatever you want on it. Do a let's say a $40 order. I'm not done cutting. And I'll send you the stuff to make these 4 cards. All right, this needs to be 5 1/4. by 4. This is pecan pie. And then we've got our, that's crooked. We're going to leave it that wide and stamp. And we need some of our timeless plaid. Oh, let's use that piece. I think I'm going oranges tonight, and that's okay. I'm going to make it go 4. Actually, let's use this 2-inch strip. There we go. By 4. And I want some of that hidden, so let's do 1 inch off of that side and 1 inch off of that side. And then you still get to see these plaids when we put our piece in the middle. All right, let's use that same embossing folder and see what kind of a look we get with that. Hopefully it won't be too busy. So again, I line it up with that line so that my bricks are laying straight. We don't want our bricks to fall down. I need some more ink on it. Might have dried. Nope, nope, there we're good. I think it just gives it a little bit more of a distressed look. I like it. It does come out of your clothes. I know you probably saw me reach down and kind of wipe it on my clothes. It comes out mostly. This is going to go right there. Now let's stamp our flower again. And it's leaves. I'm going to stamp off. I like that effect a lot better than full strength. And we're going to go back with Calypso Coral. That's the one we just used. She's hiding there again. Thank you everybody for watching. And I stamped off, and I'm going to stamp off on this one too. If you like the videos, feel free to like and subscribe and share. Let your friends know. Isn't that pretty? I appreciate each and every one of those likes, subscribes, and shares. And then we're going to use, however you pronounce that. I pronounce it pecan. I feel like Stampin' Up! Has quite a few pies. Pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and peach pie. Nice. And what sentiment? Like, I know I just had that stamp set. Hiding a little further under the desk. I'm going to stamp "You are remarkable" in every single way, because I think it will fill in there a little bit better or easier. All right, let it relax. Make sure it's the right side up before we start putting it on our Stamped Pretty. Tap, tap, tap. It'll fit right there. Actually, it's going to go right there. Like it was made for it to fit in right there. Perfect. And now let's add our little dragonflies. Oh, we will, but let's put it on dimensionals first. May as well use the rest of these. Down the long side. Well, it's going to get spliced because it looks like it got cut. That's okay. Oops, that. Okay. And then those are a little bit too long. Still a little long. Oh, well. And that sheet's gone. Just like that. Oh, I will put some Winka Stella on the flower. Thank you. I don't know why I forget the Winka Stella. And I've got some right there. I don't have to go hunt for it. She's waiting on us just for this moment, right? See those foam strips? If you're doing something delicate, you can rearrange them however you need to on your project. You can curve them around things. Isn't that pretty? Just gives it a little hint. Let's add wink to all of these. Let's put it on the leaves. Being careful not to get too much so we don't smear that black. And then let's add some to some of these leaves. That'll give it like a little glistening effect, like it's rained, like it has here for the past couple of days. See if you can see it. I see it sparkling. I hope it shows up on your camera. All right, let's add some to these other ones while we're doing it. So like I said, if you place at least a $40 order between now and Monday, I will send you the materials to make these for. I cannot send stamped images, but I can emboss, and I will do that. Because I think I used that embossing folder on all of these, except for one, except the first one. And it's still a little different than the one that Beverly made. Oh, the bee needs a little on his wings. There we go. That needed stamped off. Live and learn. I do like the pretty peacock. Slide this stuff this way so you can still see them, but see, ooh, that made that go pop. All right. Oh, we got to add some couple of dragonflies over here, and then we'll be done. One there. Turn. Here. All right. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. I like seeing some new names and faces, and some of you I can't see names or faces, but thanks for hanging out with me. I believe you can see the little bit of Winkastella on there. That's perfect. Again, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate every like and subscribe and share. If you like what you're seeing, hang out with me every Monday night. I'm going to try to start doing a couple of extra videos maybe through the week. I'm not going to promise they won't be scheduled. They'll be pop-up. I know this week, as you can see on the table behind me over there, it's prepping for our Christmas in July. And thank you, Becky. I like them all. Obviously, purple is one of my favorite colors. I like teals. Haven't played with the peaches in a while, so it's like it's time to get some of that out and play. All right. Thanks for watching. Remember, free shipping is for 3 days starting on Wednesday, and then tax-free weekend for adhesives and markers and blends is on the weekend. All right. Have a good one, and I will catch you again soon. Thanks for stopping by.